this. All right, recording's on. I hope everyone's okay with that. Just for the people who aren't able to make it, and for the GitHub workshop as well. Okay, so we're recording now. So yeah, we're gonna be going into the details for all of our teams. And even if you already know what team you're on and what team you're going to stay on, if you already have a team right now, I guess, it's still good to know what we do. So definitely something to look or to know at least. Okay, so starting off, we got a little bit of logistics. This is the boring stuff, but it has to be said. So your team is going to be meeting weekly, and tasks are going to be assigned on a kind of like bi-weekly basis. Bi-weekly as in like every other week, so like 2-week sprint cycles. I'm not sure if all of you have heard of sprints, but pretty much we're going to be looking for pretty much cycles of working throughout the semester, where every 2 weeks will be like a new cycle where you'll have your tasks for those 2 weeks, and then once they're up, that'll be like the unofficial like due date for them, and your team will hopefully be merging all the changes that everyone's been working on after those 2 weeks. So these tasks can be collaborative or individual, and it is entirely at the discretion of your team captain. I know a few of our teams in DTE have kind of sub teams, and I know that's what the cardiology team does as well. And so, if you have sub teams, and it's likely that you could work on things together or kind of split them up. These tasks can be completed during your weekly meetings, if that's how your team has it set up. Or you can also have work sessions, which I know has been a pretty popular thing for our captains to hold in the past, where outside of those weekly meetings, they'll hold optional kind of work session meetings for a little longer, where everyone can kind of just get together and knock out some of their tasks. Or you could just, like, I don't know, go to your room and work alone. Whatever works best for you, So your tasks are also going to be tracked using minutes. It'll be like a Google Sheet, not a Google Sheet, a Google Doc, sorry, that your captain will have at the beginning of all the meetings, and you'll all fill it out and have a great time documenting your progress. Oh yeah. And at the end of this meeting, you're going to fill out a preference form for which DTSE team you'd like to join. Again, I would like to note that even if you are already on a team, you do still have to fill out this form. It makes the whole process for me and Annie. Also, shout out Annie. I guess that's one thing I forgot to announce. I'm all over the place here, but congrats Annie for being the AD of DTSE. She's joining us today. And yeah, so she's helping me out with pretty much everything I do over here on DTSE. But yeah, it makes the whole process for Annie and I like a lot simpler when we are figuring out the how to make teams. And so if you're on a team and you want to stay on that team and you put it as your first choice, you're going to stay on that team, don't worry. But for those who don't want to have a team or who are going to be switching teams, definitely, I guess it makes things easier for us to see who's going where and why. Okay, so if you are placed on a new team, whether you are a new member of DTE or whether you're just switching from from another one of our teams, you're going to be asked to complete a ramp-up project before taking on any actual tasks. This is a pretty much like a simple project that your captains will describe to you. It shouldn't take anywhere. It should take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. Shouldn't take more than that. None of them will be a big hassle or anything that you have to like worry about. But I will be expecting all of you to complete your ramp-up projects and send me a link to a public GitHub repository with your ramp-up completed by February 5th. If for whatever reason you can't complete it by the 5th, I mean, this is not like a, oh, if you don't have it, shame on you. It's more so just so after the 5th, our teams can really start getting a move on. So if you're behind for whatever reason, if you can't complete it by the 5th, that's okay. But as long as you just kind of stay in contact and communicate that with both me and your captain. But as a soft deadline, I am saying February 5th for ramp up projects. And once teams are made, your captains will be kind of sending you your ramp up projects. And again, any difficulties, please feel free to reach out to me or your captain. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to go into the team descriptions. We're starting off with cardiology, and I'm going to pass it off to Aryan.
Hey, what's up? Can you guys hear me? All right, just making sure.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Aryan. I'm captain of the cardiology team. So basically, like a quick summary of what we're working on. We're creating an application that helps doctors explain the surgical process for the heart to patients, and the goal of it is to kind of bring in a new, to like create a new way to depict the information that they like would want the patient to know. So it would be, it's basically like showing a 3D model in the 3D space, and then it's showing it in an exploded view, and then seeing how it interacts with the implant. That I just putting it simply. And then the technologies that we're using are for the front end React and A-frame, which are mainly like use JavaScript, and the back end is Python. And we're trying to implement this. I don't know much about GraphQL yet, but we're trying to implement it so that it interacts better with React and can create a more secure app. So in terms of plans for the semester, it's mainly creating the application to be more secure and create accounts for the doctors and stuff like that. And then also just kind of move the project along and make it look nicer, just because before the application was using basic files for the website, but now that the project is like, functional, we are able to, make it look nicer for the doctors to use. And so for the ramp up project, it's basically creating a simple Python and Flask application that links to like any A-frame set that you want to do, that you want to use with any object that you want to put on there. Like it shouldn't be super difficult. If you have any questions, let me know. But yeah, that's the cardiology app.
Okay, I'll go next for Diabetes VR. I'm Karina and I'm the captain of this team. So basically what we're doing is building an educational game aimed towards pediatric patients with diabetes to learn about like healthy eating choices, portions, how to read a nutrition label, and other things like that, just making it a more fun way for them to learn. And the tech stack that we use is pretty mixed, but the main thing that we use is Unity with C# scripting. If you've ever coded in C or C++, it's pretty intuitive to pick up C#. We also dabble a bit in Blender, or just get assets online. So if you do have knowledge of Blender, though, that's a big plus. But really, the most important thing is being creative and a willingness to learn, especially about like game design and that kind of thing. And yeah, so for this semester, we're hoping to add a lot of functionality and just move things along and make a lot of progress. We're finishing on our food sorting level, so like sorting different types of food into different baskets in the virtual environment. We also are finishing up a level on how to read a nutrition label. So basically they can pick up a food in the environment and see the corresponding nutrition label pop up, and answer like questions about that. And we're also working on a level on portions. So yeah. And our ramp up project for this semester is going to be a quick YouTube tutorial on setting up virtual reality in Unity, just because I think that is pretty helpful. It's like learning how to make a simulation for bowling in Unity. I thought that sounded fun. So yeah, that's pretty much everything for Diabetes VR, I think.
Okay, and VJ couldn't make it. VJ couldn't make it to the meeting today, so I'll just be kind of going over what Infantile IV Simulator does. This team is working to develop a mixed reality simulator for medical residents to practice insertion into neonatal veins within the leg. Pretty much, it's just like there's a baby leg, and because the veins are small, it's really difficult to get IVs into where they should be. So this is just a tool for residents to practice. This project's pretty cool, actually. This is one where we have a mechanical and a software side, and so there's a lot of cool stuff on both ends. Obviously, for this, you would just be on the software side, though. As for right now, my gosh, I cannot speak today. So sorry. The technologies they're using is Unity. That's pretty much it right now. But yeah. And then for the plans for the semester, once they get the scans from the mechanical side, they're going to be developing the Unity simulator, aligning all the objects, making sure it's all good to go. And for the ramp up project, it is placing a sphere with a basic mesh within Unity and running it in game mode. And yeah, train of 4.
Hey guys, so my name is Rishi. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the captain of the Train of 4 team. And basically what we do is we utilize machine learning to automate the Train of 4 test, which just measures the degree of muscle relaxation by analyzing the degree of like hand movement from electrical stimulus, which is pretty much just a fancy way of saying like doctors like send electrical impulses and the hand twitches a bunch of times, and we're just using machine learning to like measure those twitches. Technologies we use currently are Python and OpenCV, and plans for the semester are improving upon the current model and testing it at the CSALT lab. The ramp-up project is just going to be a basic neural network tutorial. That shouldn't be anything too bad. Thank you.
All right, sweet. All right, and this is our team selection survey. So you don't have to fill this out right now. This is a lie. Hold on. Okay, it's Sunday. Team selections will be finalized by Sunday. So you have until the end of Saturday to finish filling this out, and I'll put the link in the chat as well, so that you have it. And I'll be posting this whole slide deck in the Slack as well. And I'll be posting the links to everything in the reporting. You'll have all of this. So if you don't want to fill it out right now, or if you kind of want to sit and think on it, or if you want to review the slides on your own time to kind of figure out which team you would like to, or I guess how you would like to rank your teams, then you are more than free to do that. But for anyone who does want to just fill it out quickly now, takes a few seconds. None of the answers we're looking for on there like long or anything. And that is pretty much it for our team selection meeting. One thing I will say, if anyone came like late or after we started who didn't do the sign-in sheet, you can go ahead and put or sign in now using this QR code. I'll also put the link to that in the chat as well. Sweet. So yeah, definitely fill that out. Otherwise, you're gonna get like a weird Slack DM from me being like, "Hey man, where were you?" So fill that out. And then we'll give it a few minutes. And after that, we're going to get into our GitHub workshop. None of this should be really long. And actually, I'm pretty excited for our GitHub workshop this semester. It's similar content from last semester's, but it's actually interactive. So you guys won't just be like sitting there watching me play with Git Bash, which, definitely is cooler than how it was. Okay, so I'm going to say that if you haven't filled out the sign-in sheet yet, you're slow, but that's okay. So we're going to go on to the Git and GitHub overview. And after that, Annie's going to lead the, demo slash fun part of the GitHub workshop. So just getting started, quick disclaimer that I want to start off with. This is how Dream Team Engineering is going to be using GitHub this semester. not that there are like a billion ways to necessarily use GitHub, but you know, this is what we're talking about today is pretty much just in the scope of what we're going to be doing. There's so much more that you can do with GitHub, and that you will likely see in industry if you go to industry. But for the purposes of working and you know, collaborating on projects with Dream Team Engineering, this will kind of just be the stuff that you need to know. So just quick, I don't know, presentation definitions. I mean, Git versus GitHub. So Git is like the free version control system. It's used for coordinating work and tracking changes. It's what GitHub uses to like work, you know. GitHub is really just like the most accessible user interface for Git and a lot of its functionality, and it's great. So we're gonna learn how to use it. It's blocking the meme. Okay. So to get started with Git, there are really two ways that I would recommend to use Git and GitHub. The first is the command line interface using a tool like Git Bash or Putty or something like that, which is what we're going to be using today. Another is GitHub Desktop. I personally, I'm not sure how popular of an opinion this is, but I personally don't love GitHub Desktop. I think it's just easier to use the command line. But I know a lot of people who really like GitHub Desktop and who know how to use it perfectly, and it's more intuitive for them. And so if you are already comfortable using GitHub Desktop, then yo, like use what you want, you know. But this is more so if I guess for the command line interface is more so if you haven't quite used Git before, or maybe you've used it briefly for some projects here and there, but haven't quite you know, used it in depth. So one thing I will say that whether you use the command line interface or the desktop, it is generally considered bad practice to just use the GitHub web interface for everything. I know there's that nice little button with like the, you know, like I think it's like file, and then you upload files and you just select what you want and you pop it on. But if and when you do go to industry, they're going to expect you to know how to, you know, use the rest of Git. So I would definitely say, you know, familiarizing yourself with how to do that is a good thing. So main functions of GitHub, I'd imagine a lot of you are pretty familiar with these, but just to go over them for completion's sake, we're just gonna sweet. All right, so branches. This is going to be a repository that's derived from main that can contain separate changes until it's merged back with main. In previous semesters, we used branches that were strictly person-based. So, you know, your branch was your name, and oh, you love GitHub Desktop. Awesome. Sorry. Okay. So, yeah, it was your branch was your name, and oh my gosh, and that was it. But this semester, a few of our teams have decided to use task-based branches, and so for those, it is likely that you'll make a branch for a specific task. You'll complete the task, you'll merge it with main, and then you'll delete the branch. So either works. There are pros and cons for different projects, but yeah, so we have a little bit of a mix this semester. Pushing, this is, I guess, in broad terms for most of the time when people say pushing, it'll be taking changes from your local computer and pushing them onto GitHub. And when people say pulling, it's taking changes from a branch or from just GitHub at all and putting them onto your local computer, I guess after you've already cloned a repository. And the merging is going to be combining your branch with another branch, which for pretty much every purpose that I know, that would be main. So real quick, just some additional features to know about readmes and documentation. We don't quite used those yet. I wanted to start using them last semester, but ultimately, I don't want to swamp you guys with documentation. So we will cross that bridge when we get there. And also code reviews. This is something that you will have to deal with. All of our GitHub repositories have a protected main branch, which means that you cannot merge your branch into main without someone else on your team reviewing and accepting your changes. And we're going to be going over all of that today. And just in general to know, merging can cause conflicts, and it'll show you potential errors or changes that you might not have intended. And so, yeah. So how do we actually use Git and GitHub? We're going to go into an interactive demo now. We're going to be outlining the process of setting up a branch, pushing changes, merge conflicts, and pulling from main. And so from everyone who filled out the sign-in form, by now, Annie, correct me if I'm wrong or if you still needed more time. But hopefully you should have been added to the GitHub repo that we'll be working on for the rest of the workshop.
Yeah, everybody who filled out the form should have gotten an invite by now. I think
Awesome.
we're missing 2 people who filled out the form though. I think there are 2 usernames.
Okay, cool. I didn't fill out the form, so I might be
That's one of them.
maybe. Okay, yeah. Okay. And yeah, and again, we will also have this slide deck posted on Slack. And there's this neat little cheat sheet that Annie made as well. So yeah, from here, I'm actually going to stop screen sharing. And I'm going to let Annie take it away.
So I just copied and pasted the cheat sheet link. We're gonna go through like that interactive. It just outlines a bunch of the commands that we're gonna be using. And then I also linked the GitHub repository, but you should have gotten an invite in your email. Xavier, do you mind enabling host screen sharing?
Yeah, that's my bad. Give me a quick sec. Okay, should be all good to go.
Okay. 2 seconds. Okay. So, okay, so I'm assuming you guys have hopefully gone into the repo by now. We're gonna start just navigating to a directory where you want like this repo to sit in your computer. So if you have a GitHub directory, that's perfect. Okay. And then you're going to be performing a git clone. So this is just gonna take this, remote repo and bring it down to your local machine. So that's just git clone, and then you're gonna go into this the GitHub and go to code, copy this link, and then in your terminal you just paste that in. And lovely. And so now you're going to be like changing directory into this into the folder that you just created. So now we're here. We can see that there's the README and there's the workshop file. So what we're going to be doing is we're adding our names to the workshop file. So we're going to be practicing like changing that, committing all that, pushing, and then we're also going to be getting into like merge conflicts a bit. So that should be fun. But so to edit the text file, I think it's easiest if you just like open it up in your command line, in your file explorer. But before you get to that, what you're gonna want to do is right now, we can see we're in main. And whenever you're making changes, you don't want to make any changes to main. You want to have your own branch. And so depending on your team, is either going to be task-based or person-based. But for now, we're going to assume we're doing like a person-based one. So the way that you're going to create a new branch is git checkout, which essentially switches branches, and then this -b flag which creates a new branch, and then whatever you want to call it. So I already have one named Annie, so I'll call this Annie too. So now we've created this new branch and it's on our local machine. It's on a local repo, but you can see like Annie 2 isn't here. So we need to get that onto the remote one. And so you're gonna do a git push. But the first time you do a git push, you're gonna want to do a -u, and this just like sets the upstream. So it tells like Git, you know, how how we're tracking the different branches and like where are you pushing to. So you only have to do this once, like when you're first making the when you're first setting up that tracking, but it's git push -u origin and then the branch name. Okay, so now that should be here, and yeah, you can see it's starting to populate more, so great. So now we can actually like start editing the file. I'll wait like 5 seconds just in case I'm going kind of fast.
And if
But
anyone has any questions with like, you know, creating their branch, definitely let us know. We want you guys to
Yeah.
be following along. So definitely if you have any questions, feel free to just be like, yo, it's not working. And you know,
Yeah,
we'll figure it out together.
if you run into any issues, just like unmute or put in the chat, anything. Okay, so it's populating a bit more. Okay. I will start editing the file. I'll just go really slowly. So you're gonna want, so you can open this up any way that you want. I think it's easier in like File Explorer for our purposes, but when you're actually doing like the project, it's probably gonna be in like an, you know, IDE or whatever. We're just gonna do text edit for now. So we're gonna be adding our names to this. So just going under, adding your name, saving that. Okay, so that we can check that that was updated on our side by doing a git status. And so we can see there was a change. So let me just see if more branches are being created. Okay, it's getting there. So, so right now it's on like our local, right? We want to put that in the staging area, or yeah, I think it's the staging area. So to do that, you're gonna do a git commit, or I mean, sorry, git add. So you can add the whole file, the workshop file.txt, but alternatively, you can do a git add -up, which this is good if like you're adding stuff, it goes through every single change that you've made just to like really solidify and like confirm that all the changes that you're adding, you actually want to add. So I think it's always like a good thing to do, but it's not necessary. But so yeah, okay, I'm good adding my name. So I'll put a yes, I'll put a Y for yes. And now that's been added. The next step is to commit that. And then if you ever get lost, like what exactly you need to do, just doing a git status, it tells you, you know, I mean, actually, I guess it's not telling me, but actually it says git commit, the change is to be committed. So now you know that you have to do a commit. So to do a commit, you're gonna do git commit, and then commits always need a message. So you can do a -n flag. And then in quotes, you're gonna add your message. You want to give it like a descriptive message just so everybody knows what this commit is. And it's good for like other people looking at your changes, but also like yourself, just so you can, you know, look back. So I'll do adding Annie's info. Okay, so then we'll commit that. And right now, again, this is just on our local repo. This is not yet in the remote. So we're gonna want to push that. And here, since we already set the upstream, we can just do git push and it should automatically do that for us. And we can see that it like automatically updates, right? It says that there's recent pushes on this branch. Wait, I just realized I pushed the wrong branch, I think. No, I didn't. Okay. All right, so we're good. So we have recent pushes on Annie too. So now the next step we're gonna want to take is to create a pull request. But I'll stop here in case anybody has any questions. If anybody's like stuck on anything, let me know. I'll assume it's going well. If you guys get any like issues with entering your password, if it like asks for any like authentication, you might have to do a personal token, access token. And if that's the case, let me know, because I can walk through that process of like how you get that. So we'll keep going. So the next thing we're gonna do is compare and pull request. So this essentially, right now we have changes on Annie too, and we want to get that into main, right? We don't want to just like keep that on our own branch. We want to continually update main with all these changes that we're making. So you can, well, it's automatically populated with like the commit message that you added. You can also add a bit more description, which is always good. If you're doing anything, like any changes that you make, if there's a visual, if you can like, if there's the possibility that you can like show what your change actually did, you can always leave that in there, just like helpful information for anybody reviewing your pull request. So, but for now we're good. We'll create the pull request. And so now the way that our GitHub, at least this repo is set up, you're gonna need somebody to approve your pull request, because this is good for making sure that you're not like pushing anything bad into main. So yeah, okay, so I might need Xavier.
Yep. All right, cool. So to show you, because this is something that you may have to do on your teams as well. So I'm gonna steal the screen share for just while I accept this. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So so when someone on your team or even your captain is like trying to merge into main, and you know, you're all like, whoa, let's put this into main, and everyone's all happy about it, someone's going to need to review it, and I guess the hope of mine is that when you guys merge anything more than one thing into main, because with our 2-week sprint cycles, my hope is also that every 2 weeks main will be updated with everybody's new changes, and then everyone will pull all of the changes from that updated main branch into their own branch to begin working on the next 2-week cycle. And so I'm hoping, I mean, that when it comes to merging, this is something that you guys can do together to both see the progress that everyone's made and to know what's being updated on main. So once you get to the pull request that you want to accept, you're going to click this add your review button. And you're going to see, oh, no way, dude. She put her name. And so I'm going to review it. I'm going to say, great name. And we're going to approve it and then submit the review. And this is the point where, you know, if there's something that you see that shouldn't be there, that shouldn't be pushed, you can also go back and you can close the pull request without accepting it. But in this case, we're going to approve it. Nice. And then once everything is all good to go, we're going to merge pull request. We're going to confirm it. Sweet. And so the pull request was successful, and I'm going to give it back to Annie.
All right. So now we had this change, right? It was just added to main, so that's great. We still have other pull requests open, and so now we're kind of going to use this as like an opportunity to go over like merge conflicts. So I'll take Evans branch as an example. So we can see with the pull request, essentially like the issue that's introduced here, when we talk about like merge conflicts, essentially there's like two different users or two different people trying to add their changes to this branch, but like they're editing the same lines. And so usually Git will perform automatic merging if there's no issues, just to make our lives easier. But in this case, since we're both editing the same lines, Git really doesn't know what to do and it needs our input. So this is what a merge conflict is. And we're going to resolve that by resolving the conflicts. So you can do this two ways. I'm going to show it right now through like the GitHub interface, just because you can see it on the pull request. But you could also do this through command line, and I did give some instructions here, I think, for that. But essentially, so we can see this is like this is the error zone, right? So from Evan's branch, he's adding his name, and then from main, we have my name and Xavier's name. So essentially we can do whatever we want here, right? We could only keep Evan's name, we could delete ours, whatever, but we want to keep everybody's. So we're just gonna get rid of these like bracket lines. This is just like Git telling us this is where these changes are coming from. So this is coming from Evan's branch. So oopsies. Okay, so we'll leave that out. And then this is like a divider. It's Git telling us, okay, that was like the other branch. This is like this is the next branch. So we'll take that out too. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's all good. Okay. So now we'll mark that as resolved. That looks good to me, right? And we'll commit that merge. And now we need a review. I'll add mine. So okay. So I'll submit that. And then I'm going to go through with the merge, confirm the merge. And great. All right. So now our main branch, if we just look at it real quick, we can see it has all 3 of our names, which is great. So now instead of going through like the pull request perspective, the other way to sort of update your branch with these changes from main, or like to get these to synchronize, you can also just like pull the changes from main down into your branch. And this is something that you're going to want to like do pretty frequently, just to make sure that like you don't ever stay too far behind main and like too far behind these changes that are being committed, because it gets harder if you leave it off. So to do that, to get these changes that we don't have right now, we're going to check out into main. And so now we're in main, right? Just to confirm, you can always do like a git branch. And you're going to want to pull those changes that are on the remote down to your local. So we'll do a git pull. All right. So we can see that there have been some changes. We also got some new branches and everything. So now the main branch on our local is updated, but still our personal branch is not. So we can check out back to our branch. And now there's like 2 ways to get these to like sync up. You can either do a merge or you can do a rebase. And I'm going to cover a rebase. I'm going to cover a merge just because it's simpler. Rebasing is like, it allows for like a cleaner history just because like you're rewriting the commit history. So like you don't see the merge. It's as if like, it's like you're moving the commit history around. So it's like a powerful tool, but it's also like, because of that, it's also very easy to like mess up and like not be able to go back. So we'll like skip that for now. We're just gonna do the classic like merge. So the way to do that, you're on the branch that you want to like merge into. And so you're gonna do a git merge, and then the branch that you want to like take into your branch. So I want to take in main. So, and then that it automatically merged it. Everything was great. we can check that, yeah, now we have Evan's name, right? So for you guys, if like your pull request hasn't gone through, when you do that merge, you're probably gonna get a merge conflict. And so the way to fix that is like the way that we outlined before, except now you're doing it like you're like on both through the command line and then also like the text file, rather than through the GitHub desktop, or I mean GitHub online. So the way to do that is you're gonna go to the text file, right? You're gonna resolve the conflict. So it would look the same as like it did on the GitHub. And then you're going to git add dot and then, or like period, and then git commit with your message. And then from there, you just do a git push and that will resolve the conflict. And then it'll also push your changes or push and make sure that like your local and then your remote branch are up to date. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is like a side note if you had any issues with tokens. But yeah, hopefully that all makes sense. If you guys have any questions, let us know. But yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, and I guess one thing just to note, at least in terms of pulling things into main, being able to resolve those merge conflicts when pulling from main into your or merging from main back into your branch, those are definitely pretty important to know how to resolve, especially because if your team's merge day comes around and everyone is merging their changes into main and then updating everyone's branches with the most recent up to code changes or up to date changes. Let's say your changes on your branch weren't merged because you're just not done with your task yet. So if for whatever reason you were working on like a function or a file that was also merged into main and a conflict comes back, you definitely want to be able to prevent your work being overwritten, and while still staying up to date with main. So definitely I would say give it a little bit of practice, and if you have any questions you can definitely ask either me or Annie, and I'm sure your team captains can help you out as well. And so with that, I think that's everything we really had for you all today. I mean, of course, if you have any questions, Annie and I will stay back for a few minutes, or if you just want to like chat, we're here. And as far as links and everything, I'm going to be sending like a fat old message in like a little bit. Once this meeting's over, it'll have like everything we did today, including the recording. So if you missed any of it, or if you want to go back and practice some more with Git or look at the teams, whatever you want to do, that'll be available to you. And with that, that's it. You guys are free to go if you would like to go, or you can stay. That's cool too. But yeah, thank you guys for attending.
Bye, have a good night.
Yeah, have a good weekend.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hi,
Yo, are there two of you?
there are two of me.
That's crazy. What happened?
I have my laptop open and my phone.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. One for visual, one for audio. Pretty sick.
Yeah, because my laptop has no camera.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
What are you doing here, Taizai?
Me, I wanted to ask a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh no, Raiden, you got a question or no?
Not necessarily right now. I'm just trying to finish up what I had because I kind of got off to a rocky start. So
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. I had a question about the
Yeah.
Git real quick. Is it
For
fine
sure.
if I share my screen?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So here, in the document it mentions git checkout, and then what was it? Git checkout main. So checking out the main, and then essentially git pull. So I did the pull, and then I did the git checkout branch. But then I'm guessing since the workshop file is different, am I supposed to just erase these first and then um git checkout to my branch, or is it supposed to be different
Are
method?
you on your branch or the main
No,
branch?
this is the main branch right now. Yeah.
Um,
So let me actually exit real quick and then show you git branch, I guess. Yeah. This is main, and then when I go on to um, so yeah.
is it letting you check out back onto your own branch before you deal with that or no?
No. So if I do git checkout, wait, let me.
I think
Yeah,
you
I
spelled
forgot if it.
checkout wrong. You might be, yeah, you're missing a C, I think.
Okay, let me just get this up. All right.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
so it might, I forget the specifics, but it might just be because you're in the middle of
But
well,
I mean, the pull request, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. I could try erasing it and then seeing. Should
Yeah,
I do
maybe,
it,
maybe.
or
huh?
should I try just do this changing the?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
I don't
Okay.
really know why your changes would be on the main if they haven't been like merged, like if they haven't been like merged into the main yet.
Yeah, because main still only has Evan, Xavier, and Annie on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
so I
not
don't
sure either.
really,
Maybe I'll do good pull instead. I I did git pull from git checkout main. So I checked out back to main. So git commit, adding git push, git branch. So I was in Taisei, check out main, checked it to see if I'm in main. Git pull. I guess maybe I didn't put git. Well, I did pull everything. So
Hmm.
and then I checked to make sure I'm in main branch. Oh, I tried doing git merge. Maybe this is why.
yeah, so there
Oh,
you have to go back to your personal branch before you do
Yeah.
the merge.
yeah.
Okay, maybe that's why. Okay, I see. So if
Yeah.
I did that, should I just erase my? I should just In that case, should I just re-clone the whole entire repo? That's probably a
You don't
safer option.
you don't have to do that. So at this point, I think you could probably just do like a reset. Um,
Yeah,
but let me see. I forgot the
because
specific command.
Like kind
Uh,
of closing the request.
huh?
You mean like kind of closing the request without like
Not the, I don't think the issue isn't like the pull request, it's just the fact that you're on main, and then you tried to do something and like now you're in the middle of that.
I see.
Um,
Oh wait, I think. Okay, I see.
um, could you go back to terminal and do git checkout? I just want to see like what error it's giving you, like why it's not letting you move on.
Give me 1 second. Yeah. You want me to check out my branch or
Yeah.
just yeah?
And then
Needs merge.
user
Yeah.
log your current index. Okay, so um we can, I think we can try to do a git reset. Let me see.
Is that a command? I
Huh? Yeah,
git
it's a
reset.
command. There's
I
like
see.
different um options to it. Um let me see. Git that's hard head Let me see. There's like a specific thing. Okay, try this.
Reset, reset, get add reset.
Okay. Try
Okay.
this command.
Yeah. It is now okay.
Okay, and then do it. Try checking out again.
Okay.
Okay,
Awesome.
Let me
so
check.
yeah, okay. So then you can just
status.
like go back to main and then pull those changes again, just because like it reset all that.
Yeah, let me. Okay,
Sweet.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Okay. This just I'm guessing just resets that the first push I did, like the changes I
Yeah.
created, right? Yeah.
It says, let me just read you what the internet says. So it says you're gonna lose all the uncommitted changes and untracked files in addition to changes introduced in the last commit. So it's like you're kind of like
Okay.
reverting back to a previous commit, which is good.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me
You're welcome.
stop my share and try it one more time.
You're welcome. Yeah, and then you just make sure